This is Irontrader. It is Sunday night. So we'll take a look here at Bitcoin. We'll take a look here at Ethereum. We'll take a look here at gold and silver and crude oil and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation, advice, selling stock, not ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin. I can see right now it's starting to open up here, down about 650. So maybe you ought to continue to slide. Let's just see what's going to go on here. Okay, let's figure up nice. Okay, so Friday we had this big red candle here. Came all the way down to a 94,230. And now today so far we made 93. 655, 640 level, okay? So what we're looking for here next, it can be looking right here to the top of that candle at that 91, 970 level. That's what we're going to be looking for. That's your next target. Now, if we start losing that, this is going to be a nice big target right here at that 89.20 level going on here. And then we can just venture all the way on down, which you have 87.70 level. We have 84.70. We have 83.905. Then we have 83.180. Then we come to the top of this candle right here. You're looking at 8,100, and we just keep on venturing 79,000, and then we have right there 78,495. Come to the bottom there at 76,390, and this is what we have right here, this 74,655 level. That's going to be very, very key if you can get all the way on down there. Now, JP Morgan came out and they're starting to buy Bitcoin up here. So don't get too excited. Let's just look and see if we can find the bottom. Now, the RSI here is not oversold as of yet. The green is below your red, but we're getting right on down to the situation. So remember, you have a good tax selling situation going here. So don't get too excited about here. Just look for opportunity. That's the key. It's opportunity. Now, here on the upside here, we want to look to Friday's low. Okay, so you're looking at that 94,230 level. Okay, and then we can do is we just follow some of these candles right on up here. Next level going to be is going to be the 96,780 level. Then we'll come down here to the bottom of this candle right there. You're looking at 97.05. But then we have to get really realistically back above that 99,250, and this is going to be very key over here at that 99.90 that I've been pointing out. Now we lost that, but again, now we have to try to regain it. Then obviously we have that 8-day, okay, which is 104.16. We have that 200-day at 104.165. Then we have your 21-day, your 50 SMA here, and then we have your 100 SMA if it keeps rallying on, rallying up. Right now we got a waterfall, okay? You got your 8-day, 21-day, 50-day. There's nothing bullish about this, okay? We have a high, lower high situation. Low, lower low, lower low, and lower situation. It looks like it just wants to keep selling off down, okay? So really what I'm watching here is just the top of that candle, that 91.97 level, and then the top of that candle at that 89.20 level. And we'll see if we can stop right there. If not, we're going to find out. But eventually, this is going to be a really, really good buying opportunity kind of a situation. So you got to have really good patience. Now, for me, you can trade the IBIT for the long. I trade the BITX for which is also a long, but it's a 2 times leverage and pays about a 15% dividend right now. And then you can also trade this like I do on the short side here. It would be ITI. Okay, so actually all these red candles here is when I just jumped right into the short position because like here, we went to the 21-day, we couldn't hold it. Next time we couldn't hold that 200-day, couldn't hold that. And then look at Friday, that BITI was trading very, very nicely. Okay, so you can do a 2-way trade. But if you only like a trade on a long position, just be patient. Be patient. We got to get back above that 8-day. That's going to be key. And you got to get that 8-day reversed. Once we get that reversed, then we can start going back higher. But right now, we're on the downside. Okay, let's take a look here now at Ethereum. All right, here's Ethereum. Now, we're doing here good on Friday. You can see how it came right on down. We're holding that 200-day. Now, look what we're having here today, okay? So now we're busting below that situation, but that doesn't mean that's going to be up. The market's been open for 5 minutes, so, got to be a little bit patient. So, a key on the upside is getting back above that 3071 level. Then what we can do is we can venture to the bottom of that candle right there at 3154, and then we look to Friday's high, 3270. Then we're looking for that 8-day at 3323. We have your 21-day, we have your 100 SMA here, and then we have your 50 SMA. Okay, but right now, same thing as Bitcoin. See how we have high, lower high, lower high, low, lower low, lower half. We have a downtrending a chart here. All your simple moving are waterfall, but that never lasts. Eventually, it will firm back up. So just be a little bit patient. So on the downside here today, we hit this low of 3,004 so far. So what we're looking for is there's that gap, okay? That's 29.25. There's your low. And then we look for the fill at 28.53. Okay, so look for that gap. Look for that fill. We lose that, then we come right down to the top of that candle. at 27.91, and then we'll come over here to the top of that this candle right here. We're looking at that 27.51 level. Then we can just venture right on down. Then we bring this price channels, just bring those price channels right across until we can maybe even do a retest down here all the way at that 21.75. Now, I'm not saying that's where it's going to go. I'm saying all you got to do is look to the left, but always look for that gap and that fill. A lot of times it'll come right into the gap and hold that and bounce right up. It doesn't always have to go into the fill, but once it starts getting in there, then it'll fill it. But just watch all the candles here onto the left-hand chart. This is going to be key because the reason why is as it ran up here, okay, you put a high in and then it broke out and made another high. Okay, now that's going to be your support level. And then it broke out another high. That's going to be your support level kind of a situation. Okay, now we're not overbought. We're not oversold. The green is down below your red here. So you got to be very, very patient. But what we need to do, it has to get back above that, at least that 200-day, 3062. And it has to get above that 3071 level. Now, if it can, your big target is going to be that 8-day. That's going to be very key. And then we have to see what the reaction is. The next level is going to be the 21-day. The next level will be the 100-day. And the next level will be that old 50-day. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold and silver. Now, actually, last week was a really good trade in the gold and in the silver. Okay, now what we had here is it just rallied right on up here. When I seen that red candle and it's just kind of it started losing the previous day as it popped up, I was all out. And then Friday, I don't short this, so we had another red candle. But now we're sitting there look like we're back above the simple moving averages. Okay, so right now here we are holding. That's going to be key is at 4076. There's your 21-day. If not, we'll come down to Friday's low at 4032. And then we have your 50-day, 3968. And then we have 3901. That's going to be your big retest. We start losing that. We have the 100-day down here and the 200 SMA. Now, upside here, you got to watch that 4101. That's that 8-day. We get above that. Then we'll come right to the bottom of this candle right here. You're looking at 41.48. We'll come here to Friday's high, 42.15. And then we work yourself all the way up here to this 42.50 level. And then we'll come up here, 43.46, and then there's your big target at 43.98. Now, we cracked that. I think we're going to go right to that 45 area. That's really what it's looking at. I thought maybe we could really do it here because we had that 8-day crossed over the 21-day. It just went up to here, and it just doesn't really good. This didn't look really good, so I jumped out of the GLD, and now I have no position. So right now, I'm just really being patient. I'm watching that 8-day on the upside. If we can get above that, I might jump into it and then see if we can take it all the way to the next levels. Now, you're sitting only at 53. That's got plenty of room to run. The greatest is like sideways action because obviously we have sideways action. So again, just watch that 21-day on the outside, downside. It's got to hold that. If not, we could retest that 50-day. We could do it onto that 50-day and even down to that retest at 39.01. Now, silver was actually a really good trade because I thought it was going to hit that 55. Came pretty close, came at 54.41, but you made that double top. See this? This is what I was watching right here. Okay, 53.76. And you notice that it couldn't hold it. As soon as it couldn't hold it, boom, I was dumped. Done. I just dumped it. Okay, now look at this SLV. It came right up here, right into it. So it was a possible double top, but the next day it popped up. It couldn't hold it. Boom. All down she goes. And then now look at here, two big red candles. Now, what we have here is holding this 8-day. Okay, so this is what we're watching on the downside is at 50.50. Okay, we lose that. We're going to come down to Friday's low here at 49.86. Then we're looking here for 49.03. There's your 21-day. We lose that. We come down to the bottom there at 48.23. And then we're looking for the 50-day. And then we can come down to the bottom here at 46.52. Then we have your retest at 55.51 low. But right now we're holding that 8-day. So I'm going to see if it holds that 8-day. Might jump back into the SLV and take it back up higher. Now, again, if we can, then I'll be looking for this position here at this top of this candle here at 51.13, and then right at the top of there at 51.83 level. And then I'll be looking here for the top of there at 52.63. And then we have that 53.76, and then your big retest at 54.41. You crack that, you can go to that 55 mark. Okay. Right now here, this is not overbought or oversold. Same way we here. Or actually, I say both of these don't look too bad if we can hold these levels, that 8-day right here and that 8-day out there on the silver. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil. All right, here we have the old crude oil. You can see here we have descending. Okay, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. And then look at this all the way on down here. Now, when we look at this pattern, I was pointing out left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but this right shoulder is just dragging on out here. I don't know if it's even going to amount to anything kind of a situation, okay? So what we also had here is you got to be a little bit careful here because we had this big red candle and then we have this uprising, okay? So this is a possible bear flag situation, so just be a little bit careful. Now again, if we can crack right above the top of this candle here at that 60.65, well then you'll negate the pattern and we go to that 50-day right there. That's going to be very, very key. Right now we're kind of like stuck right here between that 8-day 59.63 and that 21-day at 59.93, okay? So on the downside here, we start losing it. We'll come right down to the bottom of that candle, 58.71. We'll come down to the bottom there at that 58.12. And then we'll start looking right here, 57.34, 56.35, and retest 55.96. We lose that right there, 55.12 is what we have. Now, you got a huge supply going on here, okay? Huge supply. But a lot of traders, what they're looking at here is the sanctions that were put on Russia. Okay, the two largest oil companies, and that's about a quarter of their cash flow in far as that crude oil goes in those two companies there. So you got to be a little careful. So you got like a two-way trade situation. I use UCO for the long, SGO for the short, working out very, very nicely. Now, the key to this upside is it has to get back above that 50-day. You can see how strong this is. See how strong this is. So you got to respect that 50-day, okay? 61.09. It gets above that, we come right to the price channel, 62.59. We have 63.22, 64.55, and a big retest up here at 66.42. Okay, so right now here if you look at this price channel, see this price channel, we got the price channel 55.96, 62.59. We're sitting pretty much in the center of what we have here, but the 50-day is very, very strong. Once we climb above that, then I think we have good shot at all the rest of these. But till then, we got a descending situation, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, low situation. So let's just see, but just taking this into caution, we have a possible bear flag situation going here on the daily chart. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. All righty, here we have natural gas. Now we had a really, really good run on this. Okay, so we had this low, higher, low, and it just melted right on up. Now we had this contract roll, so kind of like a little bit of fooler here on these two bottom charts here, your RSI and your MACD. So we had contract roll, and then just kind of melting all up. So I've been just scalping the UNG, okay, all the way on up here. Now what I'm watching here on the downside is watch that 4.46. That's going to be very key on a closing basis. I can see Friday it came down below, but you never closed below it. It closed above it. So again, we lose that 8-day, okay, 446. Then next level is going to be right there at that 4.37 level. Then we'll come right down to here. We're looking at 427. Then we have your 418. Then we'll come down there at that 408. Then we'll be looking right here for your 4 flat. That's your 21 SMA. Now, if it keeps right on rolling here, we still have room there. Okay, you got that 386. We have the gap, 375 and 343, your gap and your fill. We have your 21-day, 50-day, and all that. However, the 21-day usually is a good catch-all, and you can see how the 50-day rolled up, 21-day rolled up, and as long as we're holding this 8-day, it's basically sideways to up action. Okay, so just watch that. That's going to be very, very key. Now, on the upside here, so far, I got a 4.53. So what you're watching is this level right here, 4.58, and then we'll go to Friday's high, 4.63, and then 4.68 is the key. Now, we crack above it. We got pretty much open window all the way to that 490. So you could crack right up. Now, again, it might not go there all one day, but again, that's going to be your big target. It's going to be that 490 level. Okay, now we got to like an overbought here condition. The green is over your red, but again, just be a little bit careful. Just watch that 8-day. He's holding very nicely, but if we lose it, you got a big target down here at your 21 SMA here. Okay, so again, just to see when you look at this chart here, you can see how it's a good uprising situation. But again, if we go above, just go look at that 490. That is your big upside target. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.